So I made a video about Ross Ulbricht, and literally hours later, it aged like milk and went sour. So I'm just gonna make another video, kind of going over that and basically the story of Ross Ulbricht. So Ross created this website here called the Silk Road, and all he did was create the website. He did not host anything that you see on there presently. Um, you could get all sorts of drugs and I think even weapons, and but they also sold like good things like art and apparel and books, collectibles. But here we have a list of drugs that you could acquire on there, from cannabis, disassociates, ecstasy, opioids, precursors, prescription drugs, psychedelics, stimulants. Basically everything that you could find from your local drug dealer on the street, I guess, but just on a actual website. And most people don't, or not most people, but well, I guess most people would probably not like that. But he just created the website so that anybody that wanted to could host the product that they were trying to sell and buy it and sell it anonymously using Bitcoin. You can see the little Bitcoin B there next to the number, so you could get a little bit of high grade cocaine for a little over 2 Bitcoin. That's actually quite hysterical to me. But so this is all Ross did. All he did was create this website. And I'll move on a little bit where, so this is the part where my video went sour almost immediately and basically had no relevance, because I had little hope that Donald Trump actually would pardon Ross, but like literally just hours later after I made and posted that video, he pardoned Ross Ulbricht. So here he is saying that he called the mother of Ross Ulbricht to let her know that in honor of her and the libertarian movement which supported him so strongly, that it was his pleasure to have signed a full and unconditional pardon of Ross. And that's different than just commuting the sentence. He's like fully pardoned and cannot go back to prison for creating the Silk Road. If he does additional crimes, sure, but I'm very doubtful that he'll do anything else that will cause him to have the magnifying glass over him, so to speak, from a legal standpoint anymore. But he was given 2 life sentences plus 40 years for creating a website that allowed other people to do illicit things. And none of those other people, as far as I'm aware, were ever arrested or have gone to jail or been prosecuted or anything like that. It's just been the guy that created the website, Ross Ulbricht, who had spent the past 11 years in jail for he never sold any drugs. He never himself sold any weapons or illicit materials or anything like that. He just simply created the website for others to do that. And in my view, the other people that were buying and selling, even across state lines and imaginary borders and such, like, they are the ones that should ultimately have been under the gun, so to speak, and gone to jail. But that's not how the world works, unfortunately. So they have not gone to jail, as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, at least. So Ross Ulbricht is officially out of prison. I really should see if I can find the picture of him first getting out of prison. Give me 1 second here. I spelled his name wrong, but we'll see if we can get. There it is. Yeah. So here is the picture of him first leaving prison. Yeah, I think this is a little mango tree right here. But this is the very first image of him after he has left prison. So that's him actually leaving, just to prove it to you, he is out. And then also this is his first post on X after being released from prison, basically thanking Donald Trump and telling that the community that, he will at some point, talk to people, but he's going to take some time to reconnect with his family and his friends and his wife. And, just to be grateful for everything that he's been receiving. So this guy is definitely going to be on a podcast tour, and he'll be talking to a lot of people about, his opinions about Bitcoin and crypto and time in prison and what that was like, and, what he was going through and what he was thinking. So it'll be very interesting once he does start talking to people, what he has to say. So I'll be looking out for that, and I hope that you do as well. But lastly, just to kind of put the light out there, this is the woman that actually sentenced him to double life plus 40 years without possibility of parole. She is now a law professor at NYU. So do what you will with this information, but I just believe that was totally, she just made an example out of him, basically. And in my opinion, I think this is either the number one reason why, aside from the illegal things being hosted on the website, that the number one reason why that website was taken down and why Ross specifically was targeted, because he has the ability to create a website where people can, like I said, buy and sell illicit things, but that basically has competition to the FBI and the CIA. I totally believe that they want that market of illicit drugs and, not confiscation, but basically just drug trafficking to be in their hands. They don't want competition at all. And, once they saw that this website was up and operating, they probably used it a little bit to figure out how it worked and to figure out who the players were. But then they probably, took it over, well, they did, and sentenced Ross to prison for double life plus 40 years. Because I just believe that the FBI, the CIA, they want to be the ones that run the drugs, that do the cartel type activities. I mean, we've seen there is a submarine that was owned, or even it was either a submarine or a ship that was owned by JP Morgan that was basically just full of cocaine. And JP Morgan just basically put their hands up and said, we didn't know, we were just chartering it. They just people come aboard and stuff like that. We didn't know. Oh my God. Yeah, right. They didn't know. Of course they knew. Because I think the banks, the FBI, the CIA, all of those organizations are doing illicit things behind everyone's backs. They won't really want you to know, but they kind of want you to know because it's sort of like clout to them. They can brag about it a little bit to their friends. And it's also a matter of how much information can they release without people being upset about it. They could basically just, Jamie Dimon could probably come out and say that he killed 10 people with his bare hands. And, everyone would just be like, oh, well, that's the bankers for you, they're just crazy people. They just go out and do, you can't do anything with these rich people. And just to see how much we'll take. And, these guys won't go to prison, JP Morgan's been notorious for shorting the silver market and, basically price manipulating of the silver market. And they paid $1 billion fine for that several years ago. And still, they continue to this day. I don't believe that they ever stop. It's just the cost of doing business, just paying a fine. They made multiples of that doing the activities that they do to short the silver market. Because they took over that giant short position from Bear Stearns from 2008. But JP Morgan basically absorbed Bear Stearns. And so they owned that new short position, and they had to make sure that the price of silver stayed down so that they could either slowly cover that position or try and just drive it down as low as humanly possible so that they didn't have to have a negative balance on their account showing that, the silver trade is going against them, basically. So, like I said, banks, people with a lot of money, FBI, CIA, they all do illicit things, in my opinion, and no amount of publicity is ever going to do anything about it. I'm a little bit black-pilled on that. I just don't think that, people are so poor and they have just enough money to survive, but they don't have enough money to do anything about it. So, and everything revolves around money. So until you become fully self-sufficient and are able to, you know, take some time off to go and protest or to, do something about somebody that would make them stop doing whatever activity that you want them to stop doing. I think that just the things are going to continue as they are. It's just that's just how I am right now. I don't think that things are ever really going to change. I think things are going to get a lot worse for the individual, everyday Joe man. So sorry to blackpill y'all on this Saturday morning, but and then also just kind of again Ross and his Silk Road hardening. He's out. So yeah, that video aged like milk immediately, and so here I am just thanking Donald Trump and Ross Ulbricht for for Trump pardoning Ross and him getting out of jail, and that's all a great thing. So I'm happy that he's out. It's a good thing. I think we'll hear a lot from him in the coming months and potentially weeks, just depending on how he feels about talking to people. It may be a little bit too soon for him to start doing that right now, but once he does, it'll be very interesting to see what he has to say. So thank you guys for watching.